So about a few minutes before that happened, I'd been coming down here to observe in hopes that the president had not called in Atlanta police, that it was just Emory police observing a peaceful protest. And then as soon as I got here, I saw the state troopers coming in, and a colleague pointed out that the APD was here.
When you saw that there was another agency besides Emory Police, what were your concerns?
That this would escalate, this would become bedlam and mayhem, and it did immediately. So immediately, I think some students were, I wasn't sure, I was standing kind of right by the flagpole, and it seemed that I was actually over there, and I walked towards the flagpole because I saw something going on with a bunch of police had tackled a young person and threw them on the ground and were just pummeling them, just pummeling, and the mother in me said, stop, and I made sure to stand 4 feet away from them, and I was standing still in a non-confrontational way. I said, stop, and then one of the cops stood up and got right in front of me and said, ma'am, you need to step back, you need to step back. And I was watching them pummel somebody. I said no, and they arrested me. So that little viral thing happened when I was being pulled off, and somebody had asked me, like, who are you, what's going on, can I help?
I mean, you've become the face, sort of, in the last 24 hours of the clash that unfolded after all of this. How does that feel?
Well, I think there's one misconception. So I've gotten really mostly 99.9% positive, loving things from all over the world. And the misconception is that they say, thank you for standing up for Gaza. I have my own complicated sets of views about the conflict, and I think that what is happening is horrific, the conflict. At the same time, I was here standing up for students and their freedom of expression, and I wanted an opportunity for a peaceful expression of their views, peaceful dissent. And that was my concern. So I'm happy to be able to raise awareness that universities across the country, this is not an issue of Israel or Gaza. This is an issue of higher education administrators clamping down on free expression and delegitimizing any kind of dissent. And the one way of delegitimizing it happened last year when they said, oh, they're a bunch of anti-Semites, which was false. Another way to delegitimize it is to say, oh, they were outside agitators. And that's false. There were perhaps some students here from other universities, but the students that I've spoken with who are organizing it are Emory students that I've known for years.
You said it was the mother and you weren't part of the protest as it started. It was the mother and you that came out here that said, this isn't right.
Well, it was the professor and me that came out to make sure that our students were protected. But when I saw that young person being pummeled, it was horrific. I mean, it felt like it went on forever. Punching and rolling and knocking and punching. This child was just, their head was like this and trying to protect themselves. I don't know how long it went on, but that was just a human being saying, stop it. And when they said, ma'am, you need to step away, no human being is going to step away. Yeah.
Tell me about what happened in those moments after you were taken away.
So they handcuffed me and they took me over down behind this building on the left. There's a little road, and they had all the people they were arresting gathered over there, and all these police, and the Emory police, Atlanta police, and they were dividing up the group between the ones who were Emory people and ones who were outsider people, and deciding to charge the Emory people with disorderly conduct and the others with criminal trespassing.
So, what did you face?
Disorderly conduct. So I got written up, and I have a court date coming up next month. And then they put me in the van. They handcuffed me and had me sit in there. Well, there was 5 other people in the van.
Who else was in the van?
Actually, there were 8. So 4 females on the one side and the males on the other side. 4 on each side.
Did you recognize anyone from
Yeah.
Emory?
I met people. I met another faculty member who I believe stayed there overnight. And her story was that she didn't even know what this protest was. She was walking by and then saw somebody being attacked and tried to protect that person.
Similar to what
Yeah.
you did. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me about how the officers treated you when you were being taken off, you were being put on the van? What was your interactions like?
It was very hostile, like demeaning. Well, you didn't obey. You disregarded a chief. that if just to even question the police power was a violation. My disorderly conduct was that I stood there. I stood on my campus. I stood to prevent somebody being beaten to death. So that was disorderly conduct. So the police can construe whatever they want to be as disorderly. They have all the power to do that. They'd construed this other faculty member as assaulting a police officer when she was trying to protect a student. So I find that awful. I mean, police do that. But what's really bad here is that the president of the university or his office did this. The police will do their thing, but the president of the university called them. So the larger issue is, it's not about the police, because police will be police, but about a university administration that called the police onto our campus. If it was just the Emory police here, this would not have happened. It was when they called Atlanta police, the state troopers, knowing that they would use excessive force, brutal force, to clear the campus. And from what I understand happened, I was gone on the way, but the moment that we were all taken off, they just cleared away the campus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like if Emory higher-ups had not called APD, this wouldn't have transpired?
If they had not called them, none of this would have happened. I mean, the students would be demonstrating. They might still be here. They might be an annoyance. They might be violating a rule about private property or something. But, I mean, this is a moment in the world, because of world history, that students are occupying campuses to call for attention to this, what they find to be an egregious, horrific issue. So I mean, students, in a way, are the conscience of our culture. And if this is a year, this is a season in which students are doing this, we let them do it. I think they fine if we need to move commencement somewhere else. So, yeah.
We were talking about this in the meeting. This has been going on at college campuses throughout the country. We've seen some faculty members get involved in the protests. But do you think that it's more so these faculty members are protecting their campus, are protecting their students, and that's what we're seeing more often with this?
Yes. Most of the faculty, have a pretty nuanced view of the crisis in the Middle East. I mean, nuanced and still condemn things, but as I was walking over here, yesterday I thought, well, it's kind of funny because when I was in my 20s, I would be in that group protesting. But this season of my life, my job is to protect the students and to protect freedom of expression, to protect academic freedom. I can do that better than they can do that. So, and I think that's what we're seeing with faculty all over, like both wanting to protect the students and wanting to call out administrations that are actually putting the students at risk. Another thing is that I think we can have better leadership. And when all of this happened, this could have been an opportunity to help students develop the skills of talking across differences, learning to deliberate with people they disagree with, to kind of create some sort of spaces for conversation and deliberation. Instead, by calling some students anti-Semites, they just heightened the polarization, made it worse. So so I think what we're seeing in faculty around the country, Columbia here, elsewhere, is a deep displeasure with the way university administrations are working.
Can you tell me about the process of when they decided they were going to charge these people with this charge and this group with this charge? Can you explain that a little bit more? Stay exactly where you are.
But I just heard what they said. My sense is that they could not very well charge me with criminal trespassing because I work here. You can't charge students with that, right?
Yeah.
And then they can say, oh, well, this is private property, so they were criminal trespassing.
And that's why you didn't have to appear this morning and be detained and sleep at the jail.
I don't know exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm going to guess that I'm not sure if disorderly is a misdemeanor and criminal trespassing is a felony. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
The other professor that we did see in court this morning, can you explain what you've heard about what happened with her?
Well, I heard her tell me that she had just been wandering. This is, of course, secondhand, so you can confirm with her.
This was when you were on the bus with her, right?
Yes.
Okay.
When they put everyone over there, and she was asking for a lawyer, she was asking for, general counsel, she was saying, my head got smashed on the ground. They smashed my. She was saying, medical attention. My head has been smashed on the ground, and they smashed this other person's head on the ground, and I didn't. And so she was totally surprised when we're over waiting at the DeKalb jail to overhear somebody saying that she assaulted an officer. So I think, again, that's such a abuse of police power to just construe a woman trying to protect a child from being hit as assaulting an officer.
Can you tell me about how many of the individuals you believe were outsiders and how many were from the Emory campus?
I heard from a colleague that the numbers were 20 Emory. Of the 27 people arrested, 20 were Emory affiliated and 7 were not.
When you hear that number and you hear that the administration is putting out statements saying, the majority of these people were outsiders, what's your reaction to that?
Yeah, they said outside agitators.
Yeah.
I think the outside agitators were the Atlanta police and the Georgia State troopers. They were the agitators.